Hi, my name is Stevie and I like to write songs. Let's work as fast as we can and get all the final mixing done for these songs so that we can get them released, finished, draw a line under them and start writing some new songs. Let's go. It's coming near the end of my summer season of festivals and gigs and stuff, so coming into the autumn and winter now, I'll not be as busy with gigs. So finally we can get back to work on this YouTube channel and writing songs and stuff. So before we do that, I would like to get finished with mixing all these songs and get them released so that we've got a blank canvas to start with when we start writing songs again. So let's just put the final push in these songs and get them finished. Okay, so someone suggested in the comments that maybe I should make these little accents more in the distance and more reverby. So I think in order to do that, I probably have to take them out of the main track that they're in at the moment so that I can add some reverb without adding it to the main guitar track. We've got quite a lot of reverb, but I think it's the initial attack gives the impression that they're not reverby. So we could probably cut it there. Actually, I don't really know if I like that, but I do like it maybe being quieter. Oh, actually, it sounds very dry now, so maybe we'll just turn the mix down a bit. Nice. Now, the other thing I wanted to do was make overall the whole intro quieter until it sort of swells in. So by there, I wanted back to full volume, and I wanted to start swelling in from maybe here. So what volume do we want the intro at? Let's try -3. It does give it more of an emotional effect when it gets louder there at that point. Right, and those screaming vocals further on up here, I think these are too loud.
In the flicker of the gaslight, cheerleaders of a righteous democracy, submit to absolute loyalty. If I drown, every breath is going down with me. We build it to the heavens, so we burn it to her. Never bring us peace of mind. Dancing puppets in a gilded cage. Volunteers feed a narcissistic rage. Devoted hosts for a ravenous parasite. Find solace in the flicker of the gaslight. Cheerleaders of a righteous democracy, submit to absolute loyalty. If I drown, every breath is going down with me. We build it to the heavens, so we burn it to her. Never bring us peace of mind. Dancing puppets in a gilded cage. Volunteers feed a narcissistic rage. Devoted hosts for
That makes the guitar sound a bit heavier there, that the vocals are pulled back a wee tiny bit. It was a bit during the wah-wah guitar solo as well that I noticed, where I put in a sample of Marching Boots, and I think maybe that's a bit on the loud side as well. Kind of feel the lead guitar was at -2 dB on the fader. I turned it down to 4 and I sort of felt that it lost all its power, so I went for 3. It still maybe is a tiny bit loud, but not so much there, but definitely here. I think it's nice now. Okay, we'll call that song finished for now and we'll move on to the next one. Right, I suppose the main thing that I want to do with this song is make it sound a wee bit more AC/DC-ish. So, or at least check that it's in the right ballpark for AC/DC. So in Metric AB, I have loaded up AC/DC Back in Black here. So I'm able to switch back and forward between this and Back in Black. And I found that it does sound quite different. The master EQ that I'm using for all the other songs is not really working for this song. What I'm going to do is do my Ozone 9 trick again. So we take in Ozone 9, make sure that it's not being affected by Sonar Works, and use the EQ match function. Okay, so what we want to hear first is AC/DC Back in Black, and I've got a set here for the chorus. We press orange. Once I press play now, it'll capture in AC/DC Back in Black. So the next thing that I want to do is make sure we don't have any master EQ on when I'm capturing my track, because I want to do a proper capture. We go back to Metric AB, switch it back to my track. We left the stage with the power and rage. We left the night like a 16 gauge. We were back down to disengage on the rain. So let's hear the difference that master EQ was making to the track. It's in our blood, it's in our soul. It's so rock and it's so raw. We left the stage with the power and rage. AC/DC's not as bass heavy as you might imagine. We left the stage with the power You know, I think I want to make the guitar a bit clearer, but without actually making it louder. We'll pull it out onto a track of its own, and we'll route this into the rhythm guitar so that the sidechain is also pulling the rhythm guitars out of the way, not just for the vocals, but also for the lead guitar. See how that works? The guitar sounds a lot louder now, but we haven't actually turned it up. It's just that the rhythm guitars are ducking out of the way a bit. I think I'm happy with that. Let's just save that and move on.
And now the past is back to haunt us. The fallout from those memories, the blackout of our history, the season of damnation.
Right, I want to do the same thing with this one as I did with AC/DC. So we're going to get some Black Sabbath and use it as a reference. I got some classic Black Sabbath, like War Pigs era stuff, but the production is too sort of vintage for me, so I wanted to download some modern Black Sabbath. So I've taken this song, God Is Dead, and we're going to use that as a reference. The first thing that I want to do is turn off the master EQ again, just like I did with the last one, and Rezo. Okay, so let's go about getting this master EQ. Let's do the ozone thing again. Okay, so what we can see here, maybe a bit of a high shelf, a dip at 2K, and a nice wide dip between about 120 and 600. Let's try and make that in Nova. So the way I want to do it is we can add EQ curve analyzer, we should call this. The one in front of ozone, one behind ozone, and now we can see that EQ curve. Okay, let's make another track. Put another couple of these on it. Put our Nova in and sandwich that in between. So on one track we've got Ozone 9 sandwiched between two EQ curve analyzers, and on the other track we've got Nova sandwiched between two. So let's overlay the Nova one here, so we can see that Nova is a completely flat EQ, and we can start building our EQ to reasonably match. So in this first one here, you got a bit of a shelf going on. I always have to remember to turn off the EQ gain. Actually, I don't think I'm going to pay any attention to the stuff that's down here, kind of below 40. Let's just put that 80 hertz hump in instead. Make the Q narrow enough. Okay, and on the next one, we're looking to cut out somewhere around 255. Yep. Let's make the Q wider on the bass one and boost it a tiny bit. I think the most efficient thing here to do is put a shelf in, bring it down till it captures everything, and then scoop out that 2K from it. So that's quite approximate, but I think that should be okay for getting the general idea of it. So if we save this now as Black Sabbath, we can turn off all these things now and add that EQ. Okay, so let's hear that.
The season of damnation.
I like it.
The season of
So what we could do now is just check what that has done in ozone. So if we clear this and recapture.
And now the past is back to haunt us. The fallout from those memories, the blackout of our history.
And we can see a much flatter response here now. So I think that has got us close enough to the sound of modern Black Sabbath that we can lose all this stuff now. We can delete this track. I'll sort of have a clear path now towards making mixing decisions because I can hear that they both have a very similar EQ curve.
And now the past is back to haunt us. The fallout from those memories, the blackout of our history, the season. They make the rules, control the fools like puppet masters. Sleepwalking hearts stumble towards their own disaster. They load the dice, kills you disempower.
Okay, so the track sounds pretty cool now. I think we'll call it a day at that and move on to the last song for today. In case you're wondering why you can't hear the tracks that I'm using on Metric AB, it's because I have set Restream before it because I don't want to broadcast these songs on YouTube in case there's any copyright issues. So let's move on to somewhere where there's vocals.
Harder every day to keep these dark thoughts at bay. It seems the more I look, the less I see. I'm feeling deeper unease within this quagmire I can't escape. It's eating me.
Right. I think I did a really good job of mixing this song in the first place while I was recording it, so I don't think this song needs a lot. I was trying to ride the vocals a wee bit. I took them down a half a dB just to tuck them in a little bit more. Let's hear if there's any other parts of the song where the vocals jump out. Okay, so it's a straightforward chorus format. Let's hear how the guitars come in. I can hear that one of the keyboards is making a very, very loud sub-bass frequency when the guitar solo comes in, so maybe we should high pass that a bit. See if we can find it. Right, that's probably too much sub. It's interfering quite a lot with the mastering, I think, so let's try and high pass that a bit. It's probably better. I think we could maybe do the same trick that we did in the AC/DC song. Actually have the rhythm guitars pull out of the way with track spacer. So if we route this lead guitar into the rhythm guitar track spacer, then we might get a bit more clarity on the lead guitar. Nice. Right, that's telling me that I could maybe pull the lead guitar down a tiny bit because it seems like the vocals are less strong after hearing the lead guitar. Cool. So I'm going to render out these tracks. I think I've only 3 tracks left to mix now, so we'll do that in next week's episode, and then we'll be finished mixing, and we can start getting these songs released. I've kind of got 2 motivations when it comes to mixing and mastering the tracks, because my priority is just to be a songwriter, but I also want to present my songs in the best possible way. So when I'm mixing and mastering a track, my first priority is that I just want to compare it with other tracks and make sure that when we do get it up onto iTunes and Spotify and all those other things, that it doesn't sound shit compared to other things. You want it to at least compete in the same levels and the same spectrum width. So that's the first thing, but I don't take it too seriously. It's important to me that they don't sound shit, but it's not very important to me that I come across as the greatest producer on the planet or anything. I like the music technology aspect of doing all this stuff. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I want to spend most of my time just writing songs. So as long as we can get it to within the ballpark of what a professional track sounds like, then I'm happy enough with that. The other motivation that I have whenever I'm mixing and mastering is that I'm always looking for things that might come across as distracting to our ears, things that stop us from hearing the narrative of the song or the emotional trajectory of the song. If there are harsh frequencies or if there's things mixed too loud in the track or anything that's distracting from the vocals, then I want to pull that away and let you hear the dynamics of the song and the emotional waves of the song as they build up and die down. So those are the things that are important to me when I'm mixing and mastering, and I try to always remember that when I'm doing it, because it's very easy to fall down a rabbit hole and spend too long at this process. Because I'm pretty happy with the way these songs sound. It's a constant learning process. I have songs up on Spotify and other places like that, and when I hear them now, I cringe a little bit because I was so amateur at mixing and mastering back then. The trouble is, in 5 years' time, I'll probably think the same about these songs. So there's no point in holding off until someday this magic bullet comes along that makes you so good at it that you'll mix songs in a timeless way. I just want to get them finished, get them out, let people hear them and have them available for people. And more importantly for myself, have this blank slate where I can start off with no songs and write some more new songs. So that's the most important thing for me. I hope you found that interesting today, guys. And we've got one more video of mixing, I promise, and then we're moving on to the next phase. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Keep the comments coming. It means a lot to me. And especially a big shout out to the guys who are buying me coffees. That means so much to me that you're valuing what I'm doing so much that it's actually worth a bit of your money. Thank you so much. That is awesome. So one more episode of mixing next week and then we're moving on. You guys rock.